Hey folks, how's it going? You're watching another episode. This is Evan Saint-Gerard, your favorite realtor, and I have a special guest today, Anthony Russo. Anthony, welcome to the show.
Thank you,
Tell
Evan.
folks what the name of your law firm is.
The law office of N.W.E. Russo. I'm in Garden City. I have satellite offices all over Queens, Manhattan, Suffolk, Nassau, wherever it is.
And what do you specialize in?
I only do real estate, residential, commercial real estate transactions, representing buyers, sellers, and banks in lending mortgage transactions.
All right. So you work in Long Island. Where exactly do you work?
My main office is Garden City, so I do Nassau and Suffolk County. I have a satellite office at home in Melville, and I have satellite offices, as I said, in Islandia, Patchogue, Bayside, Queens, Manhattan. So those are
So
all
the
my different
tri-state area.
wherever I have to go. Yep.
All right. So we're talking about law, real estate law is what you practice. So how has, since COVID, it's a couple of months now, how have you seen it affect your business?
Well, two things. About 3 years ago, I moved my firm, and at that point, I scanned all my documents, and everything was set up to work remotely. So I was fortunate that I was prepared to do this. I never thought I would work from home if I had to, but here I am. I'm actually in my home today. Uh, Everything has been, set up this way for me and for a lot of people. So it's not that different. Um, it's done in pieces these days, so it's a little slower process, but the business, as you know, can still continue a little different fashion, but things get done.
All right, so you're learning to adapt with the times.
Yes.
All right. So with COVID happening now, we're still we're still being affected by COVID and what's going on in business. How have you seen your business change basically from before to now? How are you operating on a daily basis?
Well, again, over the last few years, people have been less reluctant to meet up generally. Everyone's very busy. If I have a contract to sign for a seller or a buyer, a lot of times they want me to email it to them and review it with them online or, through a conference call or through a video conference. So I have been doing that. Now it's the only way to do it in a sense. So people still want that, obviously more. It's necessary. So everything gets emailed. Everything gets electronically signed. We used to have it where you'd scan it and email it back. Now we have everything set up through DocuSign and other formats where the buyer or seller can just click and sign the document and everything gets processed that way. Even checks, usually you have a lot of checks, down payment checks. We've been doing most of that through wire transfers. So no one has to receive a check, go to a bank with that check. It's electronic wire. We have very secure methods of transmitting that information as well.
So you're taking advantage of the technology that we have access to right now,
100%.
and you're utilizing it to your business. Um, Walk us through the process. Someone just found a house, either they're working with me or another agent. They found a house, they put it up offering, got accepted. How has anything changed basically in your process now?
Again, once the offer is accepted, the process isn't much different for us. Obviously, the home inspection has to get done, and I know that's a little more complex, getting someone in a home by themselves to do that inspection. But assuming that's done, which it can get done, those reports and those results are incorporated into the deal as always. And a contract is emailed to me as always. I would review it, send it back electronically to the other attorney. Once the agreement is agreed to in terms, I would send it to my client, have them review it, as I said, virtually and through email or video. And then we'd let them sign DocuSign and they'd wire the proceeds directly to the seller's attorney.
All
And
right.
everything gets done almost quicker than it did in the past when we had to meet face to face.
All right. Let's fast forward a little too. Basically, they found the house, inspection's done, the money's been funded over, and now we're at closing. What do you see? What's the process like for closing?
So instead of 8 or 10 people sitting in a room for a closing that takes 2 hours, the process is broken up in pieces now. So a closing can take 2 days. And I say that because it's all separate. So, for example, if we have a closing with a bank, the bank attorney would be maybe the center of the closing. So that bank attorney's office would get the funds and the documents from the lender, and then everyone would go there. So if I had the seller, I would have the seller pre-sign a deed and transfer documents and overnight them to the bank attorney's office. If I had the buyer, myself and the buyer can go to that office separately or in separate rooms or at separate times, or just the two of us in a room separated where I'd review those documents as the buyer signs. And then the bank attorney would collaborate with the seller's documents, the bank documents, anything else, and fund it and coordinate it with the title company such that once the documents are all in order, the funding can get done. And then those checks could actually be sent either by wire or checks by overnight mail so that the next day everything is funded and the deal is complete. So what could be a 2-hour, one day process actually spans 3 days, let's say, the day before, the day of closing, and the checks being overnighted or wired funds the day after the closing. But it gets done as safely and efficiently, and almost even with more scrutiny, better preparation. So it's smoother, although it's drawn out.
All right. Sounds like you have a good system with getting this stuff done. Now, let's say fast forward a couple of months from now, hopefully maybe a year, maybe a month, maybe 2 months. Anything that you're doing now, basically, that you've been doing through COVID, basically, that you're going to probably bring into your business later on?
Hopefully everything, I have to tell you. I've been very busy. I've been very fortunate. Things are, as I said, drawn out, but they're actually, I think, done in a better manner, in a safer manner, more protected manner. I'd be delighted if business continued this way, where everyone is cautious. Everything can be signed and reviewed, video or electronically. Wires are done instead of checks. Closings are done in the pieces. I mean, there's other states that do it that way already, where they send everything to the table. They don't all join at the table or meet at the table. And I think that's a better system. So hopefully as much of this as possible, I would like to continue in my business practice. Unfortunate circumstance that we needed to do it this way, but I think it's a better practice. And hopefully banks will catch on, because the only problem or lag point is banks are not set up to lend money with remote signing. Very few are. So no borrower can just click on 20 pages and get their loan completed. They actually have to wet sign most documents. And that's the only process that, if that became electronic in the near future, closings would be smoother than ever.
All right, I've heard that term a lot, wet sign. For the audience members who don't know what that means, could you?
A physical signature, an actual pen to paper signature is required on loan documents. Again, I've been doing this almost 30 years. Banks have experimented with electronic signing, where a borrower can click on pages and sign electronically without physically signing, and that would complete the loan process. But even then, in the years past, that would still require them to actually physically sign many documents. It would be a combination. If banks or lenders can get to a program where everything is electronically signed by a borrower at the table or before closing even, the process would be almost completely virtual and probably a lot easier.
All right. Is there anything that you want the buyers and sellers to know that they probably don't know?
Well, again, I mean, I just think that, there's always a lot of concern and I don't want to say panic, but really from our vantage point, sellers and buyers and banks, everything is able to be done. Banks are still lending at low rates. People still are selling. Houses still have value. Buyers still need to buy. Title companies can still do their title searches. Surveyors can do surveys on properties. Attorneys can do contracts, reviews, closings. So really, with low rates, there's still real opportunity there for people to sell and buy. And, despite the hurdles or obstacles that we have, business is continuing, again, differently, some in many ways better, in my opinion. But from a real estate perspective, buying, selling, mortgaging properties is still as good as ever.
All right. Now, Anthony, you gave us a lot to think about. Now, if somebody wanted to reach you, they want to hire you, how can they go about that?
Again, Anthony W. Russo in Garden City, 516-746-7371. And my cell, I'm always reachable, 516-312-7249.
And your website?
AWRUSSOLaw.com.
Give them that number one more time.
AWRUSSOLaw.com, and the cell is 516-312-7249.
All right, folks, thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions about real estate law, give Anthony a call. If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, give me a call. My number is 917-975-5985, or you can call Dean on his cell phone, which is 516-527-9549. And our website is N.W.E Homes Sales. All that information will be left at the end of the video. If you have any questions, feel free to give us a call. We're New York based, and we work pretty much all over New York. If you have any questions, give us a call. Call Anthony, call myself, And thanks for watching. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you have any questions, you know who to call. Have a good one, guys.
Good luck. Thank you.